Diving into the past, staring straight into the cryptic, this is the portal to the enigmatic and the unknown. This is where history's shadows, secrets of the occult, and the interweaving secret plots come to the light. Unravel the secrets lying dormant for ages, waiting to whisper their truths. From ancient civilizations' perplexing enigmas to modern-day conspiracies that shake the very foundation of belief, we explore it all. Witness testimonies, expert analyses, and a touch of skepticism. We're not just telling stories, we're seeking answers. Histories, mysteries, and conspiracies, where every mystery is a story, and every story holds a mystery waiting to be solved. Join us. Christmas is a season not only of rejoicing but of reflection. Winston Churchill. Did you know that Christmas, as we know it today in America, has a fascinatingly complex and multicultural history with different customs and traditions that you may not be aware of? The traditions you celebrate are a patchwork of global influences, ancient rituals, and evolving customs. Across the world, Christmas is a time for family gatherings, gift-giving, religious observances, and unique regional traditions. However, its origins are deeply entwined with pagan festivals and historical adaptations. The association of Christmas with the birth of Christ came about by repurposing older pagan celebrations, particularly those honoring the birth of the sun rather than the sun. It wasn't until 340 AD that Pope Julius I officially designated December 25th as the date of Jesus' birth. Before this, Jesus' nativity was marked on at least 3 different dates: March 29th, January 6th, and a time in June, which many historians now believe to be the most plausible date, as the nativity story mentions a census taking during warmer months. 2 significant pre-Christian festivals coincided with what would become Christmas: the Roman Saturnalia and the Norse Yule Feast. The Roman festival, held in honor of the god Saturn, was far from a peaceful celebration. While its revelry and traditions were eventually absorbed into Christmas, Saturn himself was neither a benevolent Santa figure nor a Christ-like symbol. The bitter Puritan-Anglican divide was a key factor in sparking the First English Civil War. During Oliver Cromwell's tenure as Lord Protector of the Commonwealth of England, Scotland, and Ireland, 1653-1658, his strict governance extended to suppressing long-held traditions. In 1647, Parliament abolished festivals, banning the celebration of Christmas, Easter, and Whitsuntide, even in private homes. Cromwell took this enforcement to extremes by mandating shops and businesses remain open on December 25th and deploying soldiers to patrol the streets. They confiscated food and drink prepared for festive gatherings, ensuring the holiday was anything but merry. Unsurprisingly, this ban was deeply unpopular and nearly impossible to enforce outside London. Riots broke out in defiance of the ruling in several cities, though Christmas celebrations remained officially outlawed until the monarchy's restoration in 1660. For the Puritans, only the Sabbath was sacred. They rejected Christmas as a pagan-inspired tradition incompatible with their strict interpretation of the Bible. The Puritan disdain for Christmas extended across the Atlantic to the English colonies, particularly New England. While some colonies adopted similarly restrictive views, others were more permissive, reflecting the religious diversity of early America. Most colonists were Protestant Christians, but their beliefs and practices varied by region. This led to distinct local traditions, or the lack thereof, when it came to celebrating Christmas. Some devout groups avoided the holiday altogether, viewing its pagan associations as unacceptable. Despite Puritan resistance, many colonists in New England embraced Christmas, bringing English customs such as feasting, drinking, mumming, and wassailing. Mumming, or masking, involved dressing in costume and performing plays or skits while going house to house. Unlike today's family-oriented holiday, Christmas in the colonies was largely an adult affair. The season was filled with feasts, parties, hunts, balls, and for some, religious observances. Wealthy colonists often hosted extravagant celebrations, featuring performances by skilled black musicians, acrobats, and jesters. In some areas, Christmas customs blended superstition with celebration. For example, unmarried women might set a table with empty plates on Old Christmas Eve, hoping to glimpse apparitions of their future husbands. The history of Christmas in early America is a patchwork of traditions, shaped by diverse cultural influences and the interplay of religious and secular values. Over time, these conflicting views would merge to form the modern holiday we recognize today. Throughout the 1700s, Christmas bore little resemblance to the family-friendly holiday we know today. Instead, it was a rowdy, boisterous affair, more akin to Mardi Gras than a celebration of peace and goodwill. Churches were filled during the 12 days of Christmas, but so were the taverns and public houses. For the poor, this season of revelry often highlighted the stark divide between them and the wealthy. They were frequently subjected to the drunkenness, gluttony, and unruly behavior of the elite. Carolers, or wassailers of the era, often arrived at homes uninvited, demanding food and drink. Their visits were not always cheerful. Some threatened violence, destroyed property, or sang menacing songs like, "We've come here to claim our right, and if you don't open up your door, we'll lay it flat upon the floor." Decorations were sparse. While some homes adorned themselves with evergreen branches or mistletoe, the festive aesthetics we associate with Christmas were not yet widespread. Christmas mornings weren't marked by children eagerly unwrapping gifts. Instead, the sound of gunfire, part of traditional celebrations, was common. Few children received presents, and when they did, gifts were modest, like books or candy. Early accounts of Christmas celebrations rarely mentioned children at all, as the festivities revolved around adult pastimes, gambling, drinking, shooting contests, and fox hunting. Despite the raucousness, there was a spirit of generosity during the season. It was customary to tip servants, apprentices, and enslaved people, often using a Christmas box to collect these gratuities, which could grow into a considerable sum. Some enslaved individuals were granted extra rations or time off, though others faced additional labor to serve holiday guests. For many, Christmas wasn't celebrated in church, and some religious groups refused to recognize it altogether. The holiday's association with excessive drinking, folly, and mischief led many Christians to avoid it. Unlike today's intimate family gatherings, Christmas in the 1700s was a communal celebration. Dancing, feasting, music, and games brought neighbors together, often spilling over into unruly behavior. In 1828, this revelry culminated in the infamous New York City Christmas riots, highlighting the holiday's reputation for disorder. By the early 19th century, Christmas began to fall out of favor in its festival-style form. Over time, it evolved into the more structured and family-focused holiday we recognize today, shedding its rowdy past in favor of a quieter, more reflective celebration. The 1800s saw a profound transformation in how Americans viewed and celebrated Christmas. German immigrants introduced the tradition of placing evergreen branches and trees in homes during winter, symbolizing life and hope during the harshest months. They also popularized the concept of Santa Claus, a benevolent, magical figure representing the spirit of Christmas. Santa Claus, or Sinterklaas in Scandinavian culture, had long existed as an allegorical figure, embodying charity and goodwill. By the late 18th century, he had made his way to America, where his legend evolved into the jolly figure who flies from house to house on Christmas Eve, delivering gifts to well-behaved children. But what about those who misbehaved? In Belgium, the Netherlands, and Austro-Bavarian cultures, naughty children faced a far darker visitor during the winter season: Krampus. This half-goat, half-demon creature was said to punish misbehaving children. At best, Krampus might leave a lump of coal. At worst, he would abduct the child, never to be seen again. Unlike Santa, who arrives on Christmas Eve, Krampus was known to strike early. Celebrated on December 5th, Krampusnacht continues in parts of Europe today, blending Christian traditions with pagan roots. The festivities include parades, offerings of schnapps, known as Krampuslauf, and the exchange of Krampuskarten, greeting cards depicting the fearsome Krampus in all his terrifying glory. The modern image of Santa Claus, with his red robes and white beard, owes much to Coca-Cola's branding and advertising campaigns in the early 20th century. However, other Christmas traditions were shaped by religious immigrants. Catholic communities, for instance, brought with them the practice, attributed to St. Francis, of keeping small nativity scenes in their homes. By the late 1800s, Christmas had become widely celebrated across America, blending various cultural customs into a unified holiday. In 1870, President Ulysses S. Grant and Congress declared Christmas a national holiday, recognizing it as a celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. Today, Christmas is celebrated across the nation, embracing a blend of regional and global traditions, family gatherings, gift-giving, and religious observances. However, the history of Christmas also has a darker side, shaped by its fusion with other holidays and their rituals. Take Santa Claus, for example. While Saint Nick is known for rewarding well-behaved children with gifts, his sinister counterpart, Krampus, serves as the anti-Claus, punishing misbehaving children in chilling and often brutal ways. Christmas is a holiday rich with both light and shadow, filled with unexpected twists and origins. Do you know of any other festive traditions with surprising backstories? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For more content like this, share, and subscribe.